What's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video. All right, y'all, want to talk about this again real quick here, just in a short discussion video. But yeah, man, as y'all know, I've been talking about this fight, and I just wanted to do a video straight up on it, on why the fight should happen, because I think it's important that, to keep the flyweight division, to have it taken seriously, they need to continue to make the best matches out there, the fights that make sense. And this fight here between Alexa Grasso and Manon Fiorot, it makes sense. So I think that, moving forward, if anybody wants to really prove that they are title shot ready or ready for that belt, ready to challenge Valentina, and they want to take that step up, this is a fight that should happen. Every fight that I think a fighter, gets in the top five and and in the top 5 or top 10, they need to continue to move up. Now, as y'all know, Alexa Grasso, she had called out Jennifer Maia, said that, she wanted to take on an experienced fighter, and she felt that she would have did better against Manon Fiorot had she had a, full training camp. But in my opinion, well, if that's the case, why not go for the fight that makes sense, which would be Manon Fiorot. I mean, they're number 5 and number 6. And even though she's one rank below Alexa Grasso, I think that fight would still help her advance because Manon Fiorot was the winner that night, right? Number one, that fight needs to happen because they both won that night. And I think everybody, including, me, felt like after they won their fights that this fight was probably going to be the next matchup. Either that or one of them was going to get Caitlin Chikagian or somebody like that, or Lauren Murphy, right? But other than that, I think a lot of people said, okay, well, Grasso won, Manon won. They both won in dominant fashion that night. Let's make that fight, right? So they both won that night. So that pushes both fighters moving forward, like a tournament. Like I always say, you got to set this thing up like a tournament. These two won their fights, so they move forward to the next bracket, which, would be Manon and Grasso. And then moving forward, they would fight like the winner of Ebos and Chikagian or somebody like that. And then they would move on and fight the winner of Valentina versus Taylor Santos, right? So that's how it should be set up. So I think for Alexa Grasso, she should be calling out Manon Fiorot because, again, that makes sense for her to move forward, especially when you're saying that you want to ride a 4-fight win streak that could possibly get you towards a title shot, right? And another reason is, that's really going to provide her with the experience that she needs, moving forward in this division. I mean, I know Jennifer Maia holds a lot of experience, but right now, she's on a 2-fight losing streak. And the experience that she's had, it stands for something, but, it's almost having its run throughout the division. Like, you don't really see her progressing, and you don't see her bringing like too big of a threat. Maybe a threat to the bottom half of the flyweights, but for somebody like Alexa Grasso that's number 5, I don't think she would really benefit fighting somebody that's on a 2-fight win streak that just lost to Manon Fiorot. So if she wants real experience that's going to get her ready for the belt, Manon is that fighter. Manon showed that she was the one making the adjustments in the fight. She's bringing the size, she's bringing the skills and the danger level that's going to teach Alexa Grasso to say, okay, this is how I can overcome somebody this strong. This is how I can overcome somebody with this type of reach, with this type of punching power. This can teach me how to try to neutralize or tame somebody that's dominant. Of course, nobody's really on Valentina's level in this division, but this can kind of give her a foot in the door to say, okay, this is what I got to deal with moving forward. And that'll build her confidence up if she beats a fighter with this type of experience, right? So Manon, though she might not have the same track record as Jennifer Maia, the same amount of years, she does carry that experience of saying, hey, I beat a Jennifer Maia, and this is how I beat her. So moving forward, this would be a good fight for Alexa Grasso to say, okay, I can gain experience off somebody who's beat one of the most experienced fighters in the division, right? Another reason, basically is, look, Jennifer Maia already lost, right? Jennifer Maia already lost. She lost to Caitlin Chikagian. It's not really bringing a threat to her. Who knows? Like, Jennifer Maia might go into Alexa Grasso fight mentally not there. She might go in there dangerous because she's on a 2-fight losing streak. How some fighters be when they're on losing streaks. They get that flame up under them that say, well, my career's in danger, right? So she might be dangerous, or she might not. She might not mentally be there. She might just say, okay, I want to go through the motions and just go through this fight and not bring the experience that Alexa Grasso thinks she's going in there with, right? So Jennifer Maia's already lost. It's kind of a roll of the dice to see if she's really going to get a big statement-making fight in there. She might just get somebody that goes through the motions and just says, oh, like, I'm just here to get the check. Okay, all right. Then Alexa Grasso goes through it, beats her 30-27, goes in there or submits her real quick because she's just wide open for submission, and then boom, right? So Jennifer Maia is kind of a, like I said, it's just kind of a gamble for her to it's a gamble for Alexa Grasso to think this is going to be a big challenge for her. You know, she already lost. And again, to me, I talked about this the other day, I don't really think this is going to lead up to a title shot. I mean, 4 fights in a row, yeah, but will it really be that fight that's going to say, okay, Alexa Grasso is ready for a title shot? Like, you know, Taylor Santos' run. You know, Taylor Santos had a good solid run, you know, beating experienced fighters to get where she is, and she got put in a place where, okay, Murphy already had her title shot, Chikagan did, Andrade did, Jessica Ai did. All of these fighters had their title shot, so that made Taylor Santos next, right? She had a good solid resume to go back off of and say, okay, she already got her 4 fights in a row, you know, good win over Roxanne, a good win over JoJo, so that led to a title shot for her. Now, the 4 wins that Alexa Grasso has doesn't necessarily lead to a title shot, because if you go back and look, let's say if she does beat Jennifer Maia and she moves forward, you know, she thinks that's going to move forward. Okay, Jennifer Maia has 2 losses in a row. Joanne has 2 losses in a row. One's including 2 Jennifer Maia, 1 included 2 Taylor Santos. And then, you know, before that, she had beat Macy Barber, who was on a year layoff, right? So to me, that track record doesn't really say, okay, that leads to a title shot. So if anything, if she beats Jennifer Maia, that'll be more experience. But I think she'll still have to fight maybe 1 or 2 more fights. You know, she'll still have to fight Manon at some point, or Chikagan, because say Manon advances and she steps in and somehow fights Lauren Murphy and Miesha Tate, then she advances. So then, boom, now Alexa Grasso has that roadblock in front of her when she could have had it right now, right? So that's just another one of the reasons, you know. I don't think this fight's really going to put her in like a position for a title shot, because Jennifer Maia, to me, should be fighting down, you know, fighting up to the number 5 again. No, she hasn't earned that, right? Especially at this point with 2 losses in a row. And, you know, last but not least, I got to say this fight makes sense because style-wise, it's good. It's just a good style, good fight style-wise. I mean, Alexa Grasso, good stand-up fighter, has been working on the ground game. You know, she's a very good technical boxer. You know, she's fun to watch. Doesn't really have that pop in her shots like she's going to knock somebody out. But when she lets her hands go, she throws some pretty punches. You know what I mean? Then you have Manon Fiorot, who's also, you know, a good stand-up fighter, has the karate, has the kickboxing, has the boxing. You know, she likes to move. She likes to let her hands go. You know, she has a high work rate. She always has that threat of, you know, hurting you with one of those karate kicks to the side, or, you know, that check right hook. So that would be a fun fight to watch, just to see if it would be a chess match, to see if Alexa could get her boxing going. She would outbox the bigger fighter, and just to see how she could handle such a big, wide fighter like Manon Fiorot, right? That's what we're waiting to see, too. We're just waiting to see if Alexa can really hang with, you know, a big, dominant, full-fledged flyweight in there, right? You know what I mean? Macy Barber was big, but she really wasn't bringing the skill threat. JoJo, okay, she's been at flyweight for a minute now, but, you know, she wasn't really bringing that threat there. You know, she was already on a bit of a losing streak, right? And before that, Jin Kim didn't really pose a big threat. So, you know, now's the time to get her in there with some of the fighters that are winning. You know, Manon, even like I said, Lauren Murphy, that's a test. Granted, Jennifer Maia is a big one, but to me, I'm not feeling that fight. I'm just not feeling that fight because she's not in a position to take on number 5 anymore. So Alexa Grasso versus Manon, just an all-around fun fight. I would like to see if it went to the ground, if Alexa Grasso's ground game is good enough to hang with Manon's and vice versa, or can she out-wrestle somebody big like Manon? And now if she could and she went in there and was able to, you know, submit Manon Fiorot, that would be big, right? That would really be big, you know. But it's up to Alexa Grasso to say, I want this fight, and, you know, she really wants to test herself, because to me, you know, if she can get by somebody like Manon, then that'll make me say, okay, maybe she is built for this division, and maybe she is taking it serious to the point where, you know, she is looking ahead to prepare the right way for that belt, right, guys? So yeah, man. Final thoughts. Yeah, just a fight that needs to happen. Number 5, number 6 is just like the Tough House. I mean, you know, whenever somebody wins in the Tough House, they advance in their fight. You know, then the next person that takes on a fight, they advance, and boom, they match up and they move forward, right? It doesn't make sense to have 2 people fight the same night and then the winner fights the loser, right? So it has to be winner versus winner, in my opinion. That's why I'm just saying I'm talking about it again because, you know, it's a fight that needs to happen. It's just a fight that needs to happen. And for the flyweight division to be taken seriously, they need to continue to make fights like this. So let me know, guys, what y'all think. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.